Hello, everybody. Welcome to the live. Hello, Jackdaw. The number 146. I'm driving. Red light at the moment. Can't type. I will be listening only. Nice. Aussie Van Man, what's going on here? What is going on here? You tell me. Today, we're talking about art. And I'm going to wait to really get going until people find the stream. And as per usual, I'm going to do my nails. I kind of like the tradition, I guess you could say, that I've started here of doing my nails while I'm live. It's kind of fun. I do my nails every week anyway. And since I'm sitting down for like an hour every Wednesday, why not just do them on live? Woohoo! Portland Art Studio, how are you? It's good to see everyone. Say hello if you're watching, please. Today, we're going to talk about art and being a traveling artist while I do my nails. Because why not? TZ Table Lent said, I hope you're doing well, Queen. Looking forward to the live. Thank you. I am doing good. I'm doing really good, actually. Doing well. Yes, art conversations. As per usual, I did not plan exactly what I'm going to say on today's live, but I am a traveling artist. I've always been an artist, and now I'm a traveling artist, so I thought I could just talk about that. And if you guys have questions about the reality of being a traveling artist or just my different art mediums, because I am a multimedia artist and what that means for me while living in a van, please ask away. I'm going to kind of talk off the cuff while doing my nails. I love watching your videos. Sending you love from Zambia in Africa. That's amazing. Hello. Thank you. Zambia, that's so cool. Africa is hopefully my next international trip. I keep talking about it. I'm really, really, really hoping Africa happens for me next year, 2026. I want it to happen. I've already been to Egypt, but I really want to go to Morocco next, and then South Africa, and then, I don't know, other places in Africa. If you guys have suggestions, like would Zambia be a cool place to visit? Let me know your thoughts on Africa. We're here for you to say what you want, girly. Hell yeah. Michelle P. said, what kind of work do you do? I am setting up my van for painting while traveling. That's so awesome. Actually, on my last live, I talked about painting and how I'm a painter and I love painting with acrylic on canvas, but I unfortunately have kind of had to give that up while living in a little Astro van because I don't have space to store large canvases in here that are finished paintings. So that totally sucks. So I guess like that's a good way to kick off this live stream about art. I guess I could talk about my main mediums as an artist and then what I have had to change since moving into the van. I've always been a photographer my whole life. I've always been really into photography, and I built my own portrait photography business. In high school, I was shooting like family portraits and senior portraits, mostly just portrait stuff, event photography, kind of that kind of thing when I was younger. Then I moved to San Francisco in 2016, and I pursued photography at the Academy of Art University, and then I dropped out, I think a year and a half, 2 years later, and I dropped out because I was actually shooting more. I was shooting so much for clients and flying to LA for photo shoots and stuff to the point where I was missing class because I was shooting so much. I talked to a couple people like mentors in my life and a couple professors about what was going on in my dilemma. I'm literally missing school because I'm working, but I'm working in the field I want as a photographer. And they were like, well, in my opinion, you know, if you don't want to teach art or curate at a gallery and a couple other things, then you don't necessarily need a degree in photography to become a successful photographer. So I dropped out because I am a fine art photographer. So photography has always been a part of my life. And I consider myself a multimedia artist because I love all different types of art. I love painting with acrylic. I love drawing. I'm a big fan of drawing just with a ballpoint pen. I really like that. I love drawing in my journals. I love knitting, as you guys know. But yeah, things have changed a lot since moving into the van when it comes to art. My rooms and my apartments or rooms I would rent before moving into the van used to be just full of art projects I was always working on, and I liked walking into my room, and having my paintings out, my projects I'm working on. I used to be really into still life photography, and I had a whole collection of things like props that I would build these little sets and shoot. And that's not possible anymore. I can't just have my art sitting out, which kind of sucks. That's another reality, I guess, of being a traveling artist. I can't, in my space, with my situation, just have the art sitting out. Yeah. I feel like I need to prop my hand up to paint. One weird, well, not weird, and I feel like I've talked about this before with you guys, but one thing that brings me joy every week is painting my nails and talking to you fine folks. But painting my nails is kind of like a form of art for me. And sometimes I go crazy. As you guys know, I put gems on my nails, or I do multicolors. Today I'm just doing a simple red. But that's kind of one thing I do every week to keep the, I don't know, the creative juices flowing in a weird way. Let's see what you guys are saying. Hello, everyone. Traveling to Mars, hell yeah. Canvas pads. Yeah, pads are good, like for paper for painting. Totally. I do have a sketchbook that I'll paint in sometimes, but my painting style is with acrylic, and I love very, very thick paint. I like having lots of texture in my paintings. And so the thick like painting pads that I could use and stuff I have used in the past, but because my paintings are so thick with lots of texture, the paintings end up getting ruined because I store it in the van, because the book is closed, you know, in storing in the van, but then also the van gets very hot and very cold, and those extreme temperature changes messes up the painting too, which kind of sucks. But painting those like pads are that's definitely a good suggestion. Hey girl. Hey Andy. Zambia is a beautiful place. You will definitely love it. We have the mighty Victoria Falls, one of the 7 wonders of the world. Oh yeah. I would love that. Michelle P237 said, I agree. When I became an empty nester, I turned my entire home into a studio. I love it. Yes, that's amazing. That's like my dream one day, is to have some kind of a home base, something where it's gonna be essentially a glorified storage unit, but also have I would love a big drafting table that I keep all my art on, and it's just out, you know, because when I'm surrounded by my art like that, I get very inspired being surrounded by art, and it being my art, and it being something I can just pick up and start doing. It sucks a little bit traveling as an artist, because I'm constantly having to put things away just to live my life. So that is a little bit of a shitty reality, but I really can't complain because I love traveling, and it's okay. It is what it is. I've just learned to alter what I'm doing and just what my process is. The Portland Art Studio said it's super important to have a creative outlet of some sort. Totally. Second finale said, thoughts on digital painting might be van life compatible. That is a good idea. I've kind of dabbled a little bit in it. I don't personally like it. I'm a very tactile person. I way prefer physical media. I don't love digital media, but that's a good idea because, you know, of my restraints living in the van. I've just never been the biggest fan of that because I just way prefer tactile. That's why I don't have a Kindle. Like, I read physical books, which also is annoying in the little van because physical books take up so much space, but I'm a big fan of free little libraries in towns and cities I stop at. I'll pick up a book, and then I'll leave like all of my books at the free little libraries that I've read already. My last live stream last week, I believe it was last week. I think it was last week. I talked about extreme minimalism while living in a van, which is also very much like bleeds into my art. And so I guess you could say I've turned into kind of an extreme minimalist with art, except for books and journals. Like, I'm a very tactile person. I prefer writing in a physical journal, reading a physical book, painting with actual paint, that kind of thing. Let's see what you guys are saying. Aussie Van Man said, I bring my Cricut with me in the van and the heat dried out the rollers, so now I gotta pull it apart. Dang, yeah. That sucks. The extreme temp changes in vans is so brutal when it comes to your gear. Like, if it's not built for this, for the temps varying so much, I feel like things just, their lifespan is so short. Like, I've always wanted to actually have a plant in the van that survives, and I've never been able to. I've tried cactuses, I've tried air dry plants, I've tried succulents, which I think those are the three that people have like highly suggested I try that they think will survive. It doesn't survive, at least in my experience. Late Bloomer 11 said, I live and work out of my converted schoolie named Peach. Oh, and I'm an artist as well who wood burns. Have you ever worked with wood before? That's so cool. I'd love to see your stuff. Do you sell your stuff on the road? I personally don't do a lot of wood burning, but that totally brings back memories because when I was a kid, my dad taught my brother and I how to burn like stuff onto wood with a magnifying glass. And so we would go camping or go to the beach or whatever and find driftwood, like really dry pieces of wood, and burn fun just designs onto the wood, and it was super fun. But I've never really dabbled in that myself. I think that would be fun to dabble in, though. Again, like, my biggest problem is if I make fun, cool, physical things, like, where do I store it? In my van once it's done. That's my big problem. I love wood burning, though. I definitely do. Aussie Van Man said you should try leather tooling. Could be a new fun outlet. Ooh, leather tooling. I don't know what that is. I should look into that. Like, working with leather, because that could be cool and fun. Andy said, by the way, you owe me my On the Road book. On the Road book? Oh, yeah. I'm still reading that. I haven't forgotten my Jack Kerouac. I'm only like halfway through. That book is kind of hard to read. Like, she's talking about On the Road by Jack Kerouac. I'm pretty sure he was on drugs while he wrote that book. It's difficult to read. But it's a good one. It is a good one. I mean, he's a famous author, and I do like the book so far. But yeah, girl, I'm not going to steal the book from you, I promise. I'll give it back. Ozzy, how are you? Ozzy said, I can't keep plants alive in my house, so you're not alone. That's funny. Yeah, keeping plants alive is a little difficult. Hello from Albania. Hello. If you guys have questions about being an artist or a traveling artist, please let me know. That is the topic of today's live. Something I love when it comes to photography is film photography, but that's something I also, unfortunately, one, I can't really afford to shoot film, but two, I also, I don't really have a proper place to store the film. I think you're supposed to store it in the fridge. See, it's been so long since I've shot on film. I just buy disposable cameras and shoot on those. I actually, this is off topic, but not really. I have a disposable camera. When my nails are dry, I'll show it to you. It lives in my van, and I have been shooting it so slowly. I literally want to take like a year or two to fill it up, because the intention is to completely forget what I shot on the disposable and get it developed like years later, like 1 or 2, maybe 3 years later. Yeah, I should have written on it when I started. I don't even remember. So it's probably been at least a year. I think it's been at least a year. So that's kind of cool. But I love shooting on film, but that's another thing I'm limited to while living in the Astro, because my space is so limited. So I just shoot on my little Camp Snap camera, and then I do have a DSLR. I don't break it out that often. I just shoot on the Camp Snap, and that's all digital. The trolls are in the house. Trolls are in the house. Where is everyone watching from? I know I ask this often. I'm always so curious where you guys are watching from in the world. Let me know. Also, let me see if I can find my disposable camera. Oh yeah, it's right here. This guy. I've been shooting on this for the last year, I want to say. Should I take a picture now? That'd be kind of cool. Portland Art Studio. Have a great day, everyone. I have to pop into a meeting. I'm glad I was able to catch you for a bit. Have a good one, guys. That's awesome. Pennsylvania, Albania, Ohio, Pakistan. Shout out Pakistan. That's awesome. Arkansas. Awesome. Wow, I still have a lot. I still have 27 images left on this. The number 146 said, trucker here, currently in Waco, Texas, trying to get unloaded. Next load, they're trying to send me to Minnesota, but I'm trying to worm my way out of that one. All right. That's awesome that you're a trucker. See, that's definitely life on the road. Sorry for the bumpy camera. Where do you develop film these days? Anywhere really. Like Walgreens. I typically just go to Walgreens and drop off the camera. Or if I'm in San Francisco, there's a really great 1-hour photo place on Polk Street. I always forget the name of it. All I know is that it's right by Bob's Donuts on Polk Street, and they're really good. They're one of the last 1-hour photo places in San Francisco. You ever get into light painting or long exposure? Yes, I love light painting and long exposure stuff. That's super, super fun. I haven't done that in so long, though. Totally, though. Europe, Norway, Hillsburg, Xmas baby. Hi, Asia. I'm watching from my home in Sacramento. Just got back from a trip to SoCal just yesterday, where I stealth camped all over LA for 3 nights. It was so much fun. That's awesome. How was LA? Yeah, truckers are such hard workers. She took the long way home, said, I make jewelry and a few other things. I have a fantasy of having a little pop-up right out of my Glamp mobile one day. That's so cool. You should do that, definitely. My mom has talked about how she might get a trailer and pull a small trailer and it be kind of like her mobile art studio. And I love that idea. I've definitely seen other people do that. I think that's just so cool. Like, it doesn't have to be a trailer, but just having any kind of a mobile art studio is so cool. And also just setting up and selling wherever you are is awesome. That is something that I've kind of done, but not really. When I go to van life meetups, like Schoolie Palooza, for example, I sold random like knit goods and stuff there. But I think it'd be cool to start like intentionally going to meetups and festivals and actually like have a way to display and set up my stuff, specifically my knit goods, to sell in person, because I think that'd be really fun. The number 146 said, yes, would like to transition to van life someday, go places on my terms. Totally. Yes, light painting is so fun. My late bloomer said, my home base is North Carolina. How's the temp where you are? Temp is a little cold where I am, but it's not that bad, thankfully. It's not below freezing at night, thank God, but it has been a little chilly, that's for sure. Yes, same idea. Okay, cool. LA was fun. 2-day EDM music festival along with a day of Disney. Nice. That sounds like a good time. Dang. 2-day EDM festival. EDM, like electronic music and just different festivals in general, I think would be really fun to pull up to sell my stuff. The thing is, like, if it's an incorporated festival of some kind, or like, yeah, I guess if it's incorporated, you have to get a permit and then you have to get like a business license and all this stuff to sell your goods, which makes sense because it has to be all legal. But I kind of want to like pull up to just unincorporated gatherings like Schoolie and Van Life Pride and stuff like that and just sell my stuff places like that. But ultimately, maybe I will get a business license and a permit and like apply for special like booths at festivals to sell my stuff. I'm not super sure. Spinning Wheels said, I used to live in a Volkswagen Eurovan for 4 years. I traveled around the country following the band Fish. These days I like my toilet at home. Thanks for that's the biggest luxury from van life. That is so cool. Did you tour with Fish or did you just follow them and like their tour? Because that is so sick. And totally, having your own toilet and shower at home is the biggest luxury. It is so nice. Whenever the day comes that I have some kind of a physical home base, I will never, ever, ever take for granted the luxury, the pure luxury of having my own bathroom and not showering at the gym. Totally. And anytime I have the opportunity to shower at a friend's house or wherever, like a private home shower, I am so thankful. And it really is such luxury. What car do you really like? I don't know, the Astro. Does van life cut into art time? Oh, yeah, sometimes it does, but not really. I feel really lucky. My job is YouTube, but then I also do still have an in-person job in San Francisco. That is slowly dwindling though as YouTube picks up, and I have big plans for 2026 that I'll talk about at some point, not necessarily in this live, that will allow me to go a lot further on the road, and that in turn will allow me to have a lot more time to work on my art. But yeah, the ultimate goal is to be like a full-time traveling artist, with YouTube being in that realm, because I consider YouTube and creating vlogs and videos totally art. And I guess that's digital art, like we were talking about digital art earlier. So yeah, totally. It'll be 28 degrees here tonight. I'm not ready. Holy cow, that's cold. Yeah, that's too cold for me. I can't think of her YouTube handle at the moment, but there's a gal who makes beautiful stained glass hangings. She opens her van doors up and hangs them right off the doors and sells them. That is so cool. If you think of her handle, let me know. I would love to see that. Gosh, yeah, people are so creative. That's something I do love about the van life community, is how many creative people are out here. And it's also so inspiring seeing how people make money as an artist, because people get so creative about it. And a lot of people within the van life community refuse to, well, I mean, we're like low-key the modern day hippies in the sense that we're kind of going against society's rules in a sense. And with that being said, a lot of artists are on the road and live van life, and it's just so cool and inspiring to see what they create, how they make their money, you know, how they live their life. It's just so cool and inspiring. Yeah, it's a licensing and all the rigmarole that ruins things, totally. Hey, Shani's Travels. I'd want to just sell here and there on the DL. Yeah. Xmas Baby said, yes, get your permit, girl. So many vendors at all the festivals I go to. Beyond Wonderland, Zombie Apocalypse are the biggest ones I go to where there are vendors you can sell your stuff at. Totally. Yeah, I'm thinking about getting my permit. Once I'm really in the, like, I just have so much in the air right now. I'm planning my women's van life meetup, which I'm hoping to have happen in March 2026. Literally, as we speak, I am working on that form for people to submit, and then for me and all of us girls to get together and plan that. So I have that going on. I'm thinking about making a, or creating, or whatever you would call it, organizing is the word, a Bay Area van life meetup. And on top of that, I am starting an Etsy with my knit goods. So I'm working on that. And then I'm traveling and I'm vlogging. I have so much that, like, the idea of, oh, and then plus my job in San Francisco that I'm slingshotting back to the Bay for all the time. So with all of that being said, like, the idea of then pursuing a permit and then selling at festivals and stuff, it's just too much. It's too much for me right now. But totally, one day I think it'd be really cool once I drop a couple things that I'm working on, then I would have the bandwidth for that, because I totally agree. I think it'd be fun. I think it'd be also worthwhile. Wow, 14 degrees Fahrenheit. That is so cold. 30 here. Wow. 30 degrees. Wow. Here from Milwaukee, Wisconsin, it's a brisk 20 degrees. Just want to say I enjoy your content so much. Thank you so much. And that is freezing. I cannot. That's too cold for me. We are the modern day hippies. I love it here. I'm 31. Is 31 here in Northwest Pennsylvania. 25 tonight, more snow coming. Dang. When are you going to do snow camping? I don't know. I don't like snow camping. I do like the chilly weather. I prefer chilly over super hot, but snow is a bit much. One of my favorite YouTubers is Roaming Reckless, Rhea on Roaming Reckless, and she loves the snow camping. She did Alaska in the winter last year, I think, or 2 years ago, and just thrived. Loved it. I'm not exactly that kind of person. I think I'd be too cold. I would just be too cold. I do have a little Covea Cupid heater in here, but I can't run it like while I'm sleeping. And also it is literal hell for me to get out of bed, out of my warm bed, when it's super, super freezing cold in the van, to then turn the heater on. It's just like really cold. I should though. I know you guys would like to see me camping in the snow, and I think it'd be a fun challenge. I don't think it'll happen anytime soon though. Gotta get the diesel heater. I know, I really should. I've been considering that. I actually had a company that sells diesel heaters reach out to me, which was kind of cool. I'm potentially thinking about that, but also I like the idea of keeping things still super simple in the van. And I also don't Like, I try very hard to travel with the weather, and I don't tend to find myself in super cold places where I would want or need a diesel heater. So I don't know if that's like a worthwhile thing to install in my van. Liver and onions, what? I literally love snow, girl. Hell yeah. I love the snow too, but I don't know about camping and living in my van when it's snowing. Maybe I should do it. I should challenge myself. You're going north this week, hoping to find snow. Well, good luck. You will find it. I know you will. Question on the YouTube earnings so far. Would you say you earn enough to cover your gas expenses each month? Yeah, I would say I earn enough basically just to cover gas. I was earning a lot more before I cut my posting schedule, so that's been a huge hit financially for me, but I'm slowly building up. I'm working on starting my Etsy, and there's a lot of reasons why I cut my posting schedule in half, but one big one is to allow myself time to diversify just, I guess, how I make money as an artist, especially. And starting my Etsy is a big step for me. And I literally don't think I would have had time if I continued the Tuesday, Friday posting schedule. So, yes, I'm earning so much less on YouTube, but I'm hoping it'll pick up once I start Etsy. Potentially, I'll work with a couple brands this year. I've never done a sponsorship, but maybe I'll do that. And that would also help the finances. But yeah, I'm living pretty lean right now financially, but it's okay. I mean, I'm in my van and it is what it is. I'm still alive. I'm still eating. I'm healthy. That's kind of all that matters. It would be fun, just hard to be outside in the cold. Totally. Aussie Van Man said, I'm a gadget guy. My van's full of trinkets and comforts. Yeah, trinkets and comforts. To each their own, man. That's so cool. I have some trinkets. I have more comforts than trinkets for sure, but I'm pretty extremely minimal. I think also I'm forced to be so minimal because my van is so freaking small. I love snow too. Nice. I can't imagine to wake up and all my water being frozen. Yeah, no kidding. She took the long way home, said, LOL, I don't know where I fit in the van life world. I'm creative, but I'm more bougie than hippie. I mean, that's not bad. That's fine. I have a lot of bougie van life friends that are also creative. You don't know where you fit. Girl, you would fit. Like, you would just figure it out. You would be totally fine. I have no connection to the band Fish. I just bought a lot of tickets and drove around and saw them. I bought a ceramic whale from Ukraine on Etsy. Nice. That's so cool that you followed Fish, though. That's such a sick story. Like, living in the van for 4 years following Fish. I don't know. That's so cool to me. Ozzy said, camping in the snow is amazing for one main reason, solitude. The snow absorbs all sound, so you don't have to be that far away, and it's like everyone is gone. Totally. Man, that's true. I haven't been in the snow in so long, but you're totally right. I really like that about the snow. I really like that about the snow. I grew up in central Washington state, and I remember loving that, especially in the mornings after a fresh snow, just how quiet and like cozy it is. Lowest I've slept in is 9 degrees. Wow, that is so cold. The number 146 said, Asia, you keep saying your van is small. Is it the shorter Astro, not the longer XL one? Yeah, it's the shortest one. It is the shortest one they made. It is the first generation Astro, which is the shortest one. Yes, it is very small. Do we have lots of trolls coming in? It looks like it. Hopefully it's not too bad. Dad is being an amazing mod, and so is Andy. Shout out to the mods. Thank you guys so much. People are being crazy. The trolls are trolling. Yes, yes, of course. People are so funny. If anyone has questions, we're halfway through the live. Please ask away just about being an artist, traveling artist, mediums, how I organize maybe my art in the van or my time. Let me know. Obviously, you guys know I've been really into knitting. And that's a physical thing, you know, as far as like the final product. So that's kind of hard storage wise, but it's not that bad. And I also hope to sell everything I knit, except for a few like sweaters and stuff that I just make for myself. So, you know, ultimately it wouldn't be a storage issue necessarily. What's the next mod you want to add to your van? A lot of people ask that, and I'm not super sure. I just installed a swivel seat base for my passenger seat, which has been a total game changer. I love that. But I don't know what the next mod is going to be necessarily. I'm not super sure. I'm really loving where the van is at right now. She took the long way home, said I've been full-time for 2 years, but still haven't found my tribe, as they say. I think that's one of the biggest challenges to this life for me. Oh, shit. Okay, so you're already full-time. Dang. Yeah, that is hard. Have you been to, like, the women's RTR? Or the RTR in general, or Schoolie Palooza? There's also Van Life Pride. There's lots of different van life gatherings, and potentially you could find your tribe that way. I don't know, but that is kind of hard. I know a lot of people are down in Quartzsite right now, or just Arizona in general, like a lot of van lifers. So maybe if you wanted to make your way down there and meet people, but that is hard. I'm sorry. Jackdaw said, I slept at negative 28 degrees Fahrenheit in my van once with no heater, downright scary. Dang, yeah, no kidding. You could die. That's really scary. This is an interesting question. Would you rather be rich but live with pigs, or be poor but live with hamsters? I'd literally rather be poor with hamsters. Ozzy said, if you had the space, what would be your go-to medium? Probably painting. I love painting on acrylic, or painting with acrylic on big canvases. Probably that. But my medium, and just the mediums in which I work with, changes a lot as far as what I'm into. I can be super into painting for like 4 months and then get super back into photography, although photography never really leaves me. Photography's always been my baseline, always shooting, never tired of it. But then painting and knitting and drawing and altering clothes and stuff like that, that kind of like my interest in those kind of wane and ebb and flow. But photography has always been my baseline. So if I had the space, I'd probably be painting a lot more though. I would definitely like to know how you organize. Okay. I mean, yeah. So like regarding my art, when it comes to my knit goods, I keep them all in a bag. Right now they're outside because I'm actually shooting all of my stuff for Etsy. That's hopefully going to be live very soon. If you guys are interested in taking a peek at my knit stuff to buy, that'll be live soon. Do not fret. I will literally be shouting it to the like world once that's live, so you won't miss it. But so I would show you my whole bag of stuff, but basically I keep all of my knit goods, my final knit stuff, in a large tote bag on my bed. And I don't like that because it's kind of annoying to move it every single time I want to lay down in my bed, but it is what it is. And then I keep all of my journals and sketchbooks, and then my like thing. This is full of pens and like markers and stuff I keep in here. All of those, like journals, these like sketch pads, all that, I shove in the like crevice of my bed. So yeah, That's literally when it comes to organization where I keep that. Oh, also maybe I can show you guys this. So this whole thing, it's like a, what do you call it? Not a basket, like a hamper. And it's full of art supplies. Ignore this. This is like a headrest thing that I want to turn into a purse. But literally, this is not laundry. This is a hamper full of all of my art supplies. So that's full of all of my yarn that I use to knit with. It's full of pieces of fabric that I just scrap fabric that I sew onto clothes or alter clothes with. All my sewing supplies. Anything you can imagine art-wise is in there basically. So as far as organization goes, that's pretty much it. I won't say where because of privacy, but I swear I saw your dad driving down the highway yesterday going the opposite direction of me. That's awesome. You probably did. He is a traveling man, so you probably did. If you thought you saw him, then you did, because he kind of has the only rig like it on the road out here. Listen to the best. The album Straight Line was a lie. Okay. I did RTR this past January. I lasted one day of the women's RTR, LOL. Okay, were you not into it? I know not every gathering is, you know, everyone's cup of tea. If you want, I would love if you came out to my women's van life gathering. It's going to be in, I'm not going to be telling publicly like where it's going to be because it's a women's van life gathering only. But all are going to be welcome. It's going to be just a free like 3-day gathering in the desert in Southern California. That's all I'm going to say. And it is going to be in March. And I would love it if you came. I'm going to be posting a lot about that coming up soon within the next month or two. And I just want there to be enough time for people to really plan to come. So I definitely want it to be posted and like everyone start talking as far as who's going this month or next month. So maybe you could come to that and meet like-minded people there. Late Bloomer said, so I haven't actually sold my art or stuff over the road while living in my bus, which is crazy to say, and it's because I found a remote job, but I want my time back, so I'm getting serious about art. I feel you. It's so hard, the balance of being an artist and pursuing your dreams as an artist and balancing monetizing the art and not burning out, but then also needing to make money. So you get a remote job, obviously, or you have a different job because we need money. And as an artist, it's so hard to build a brand and actually survive on your art. And I've found sometimes when I'm selling my art or when I'm making stuff to sell and it is art, I can get burned out. I'm not as inspired. So I try really hard to strike that balance, but that is really hard. I know it's really hard. Ozzy said, please talk your dad into producing an architecture photography book. Maybe you could go co-shoot with him. Yeah, he's good at architecture photography, that's for sure. How well can you knit? I learned to knit after a motorcycle crash when I couldn't walk, LOL, but I can only knit in a straight line. I can knit pretty good. I've been knitting sweaters and like these hobo like knit bags or boho knit bags. And I think they're pretty good. I've been knitting my whole life since I was like 7 or 8 years old. I think I was in 3rd grade when I learned how to knit, and I've just been knitting my whole life. So yeah, it's pretty fun. Yeah, his rig is very distinct. Haven't seen you live before. Are you going to the RTR? I don't think I'm going to make it to the RTR, but never say never. I do spend a lot of time in that area in Quartzsite and in the desert in the winter, so you never know. But as of right now, I don't think I'm going. Oh, Tiz Travels, what's up? I haven't caught one of these in a while. For some reason, I stopped getting notices. Okay. You know, a lot of people have said they are not getting notified about my lives. So that sucks. I don't know what to do. about that, or if I can do anything about that on my end. If you know, then let me know. I don't think I do. Sorry, I keep bumping the camera. I'm so sorry. You're looking for a new van. What are you looking for? Xmas Baby said, do you only knit or do you also crochet? I can't for the life of me knit, but crocheting is my forte. That's cool. I only knit. I've never learned how to crochet, although I did just recently, like a few months ago, I got some crochet hooks because it can't be that hard. I've actually heard that crocheting is a lot easier than knitting. So I think it'd be fun to like learn and make some granny squares and yeah, just like learn how to crochet a little bit. Let's see. Choose all on the channel notifications. Is that for me or for you guys? Yeah, ditto on the notifications for your lives. I miss the first 5-10 minutes all the time. Seriously? Okay. Do I need to? Okay, I'm going to take a screenshot and look into this later because I feel bad you guys are not getting your notifications for the lives. Looking for a sprinter? That's awesome. Holy cow. That'll be a huge upgrade. Ah! Also, let me know when you're gonna sell the orange, because it's orange van or yellow van. I forgot what color your van is. Let me know when you are, because I know of people interested in a much larger van than what they have. So let me know, and maybe like some people would be interested in buying your van when you're ready to sell. I'd be willing to teach you crochet if you teach me knitting. That's so cool. If you come to the Women's Van Life Gathering or the Bay Area meetup that I'm hoping to do soon, then maybe we could do that. That'd be super fun. You sold me broken vacuum parts. Yeah, I definitely sold you a broken vacuum. Totally. 47 minutes into the live. I have like basically 15 minutes left before I'm out of here. I'm going to continue with my day. Today I'm working on my Etsy, which is super exciting. I've never opened an Etsy. It's a little intimidating, but it should be fun. I'm going to have a small drop initially for my Etsy stuff and just see how that goes, and then work from there, continue knitting stuff, obviously. I am in such a good mood right now, and I think it's because I had 2 cups of coffee before this. I'm planning... Oh, okay, you're giving your van to your grandma. That's so nice. Okay. Yes, I am going to make a video about my Etsy. I think potentially that might be the video going out this Friday if I can get my shit together in time. Yeah, because I'm working I really want to get the Etsy up and running and then film a video about it and showing you guys what I'm selling and all of that, like now this week if possible, before holidays, because people, you know, they might want to buy the bags for gifts for people or just a gift for themselves for the holidays. I don't know. Plus they're knit bags and everyone's freeze ass cold right now. Like, how cozy is a knit bag? You know what I mean? So definitely a video will be coming out about the Etsy and me showing the bags, how you can buy them, all of that, all the info. I'm very excited. Trying to convince my grandparents to just live in the van on their Social Security. I mean, yeah, man. If you're using your phone, consider getting a regular phone mount by screwing it into the ceiling and you'll never knock it over. That's true. I mean, that is a good idea. I really should, because as you guys know, I'm so bad at knocking over my tripods, which is kind of annoying, but also funny because I'm a photographer and that's like so embarrassing that I'm always knocking over my tripod. But the thing is, I use very small tripods in the little van. Like here, I'm using a really small tripod right now, and the van is already so tiny, so me moving anything will like domino effect, knock everything down. It's very annoying. I can't believe you drink black coffee. How do you not believe that? I swear I drink black coffee because I've been drinking coffee since I was like 15 with my mom growing up. And I used to put a ton of creamer in it. But as the years have gone on, as like the last 15 years have gone on, just I've used less and less creamer and sugar. And then it got to the point where I was like, I just want to drink it black. I just love the taste of coffee. So yeah, I don't know what to say about that. I will say, living in the van or just traveling in general, even if you're flying somewhere, international travel, or just you're busy running around the city, hopping into a cafe super quick to get a black drip coffee is like the best, because you could just be in and out in 1 second, super quick, especially in the city, and you don't have to put anything in it. You just want a black coffee, drip. It's the cheapest thing on the menu anyway. Grab it and go. It's so nice. And then obviously in the van, I don't have to keep creamer stocked, which is super, super nice. As a trucker, I Velcro my phone to the dash. No bumps, knock it off. Not even Indiana's pathetic roads. Velcro is a godsend. That's a true coffee lover, totally. I made myself... Because I knew the only bad part of it is stuff you add. Oh, with black coffee. Yeah. I don't know, man. I love black coffee. But I do love a latte. Whenever I go to Starbucks or a cafe, like mostly Starbucks. Shout out Ozzy with the Starbucks gift cards. If I ever have a Starbucks gift card, I'll treat myself to a latte. Because I do love that. I just get a regular latte, oat milk latte if I'm feeling fancy, but I don't get any flavor, no vanilla, nothing like that. All right, we got 10 minutes left in the live. If anyone has anything pressing to say, please let me know. I'm feeling so good today. I feel like I'm going to be really productive and get a lot done, which is a great feeling to have. Black coffee with organic coconut oil on a morning. Wow, that sounds very nice and luxurious. I'm not going anywhere yet. Still got a couple minutes to this live. Yeah, I am feeling good. I'm glad I'm feeling good too. Got my red nails going, which feels great. I think I've said it before, but for years, like at least 6 years, I exclusively had red nails. If I painted my nails, they were painted red. I just really like red nails. And I think I'm actually getting back to that red nail thing, because I've been painting my nails red a lot lately. Can you tell I'm losing talking points? Y'all have to help me. Say something in the chat. Bye, Xmas baby. I gotta jump back on the phones for work. Thank you. You have a good rest of your week too. Snowy Iowa, huh? Something in the chat. Thank you. I appreciate that. I do. Let's see. Is there any comments I've missed? Love from the UK. Shout out UK. Nice sweater. This is like the most beat up hoodie ever, but thank you. Actually, one thing I could ask you guys, does anyone have an Etsy here? Does anyone sell on Etsy? And if so, do you have any recommendations for me? And also organizing a van life meetup. If you have suggestions for me, please let me know, because I am a baby. I don't know what I'm doing. 1 vote for green nails. Maybe I'll do green next week. Did you ever figure out how to get your nail gems to stick? Yes, finally. Finally. It took forever, but yes, I figured it out. It takes a lot of effort. It takes a lot of nail glue, and then the UV like black light, blue light thing. I did finally get it figured out though. Yeah, notifications when I go live. I don't know what's going on. But after this live ends, I am going to take a look at that because it's so weird you guys aren't getting notified. So I'm going to hopefully fix that if I can fix that on my end at all. I'm leaving Georgia Monday to start heading to Arizona for schooling. Nice. I struggle to have them not catch on my hair or clothes. Yeah, I will say I love the look of the gems, but I totally agree. It's very annoying to have them on. It does catch on everything. I don't know how people do it, like how it's just not a problem. Also, the super long nails, when girls and men, anyone can get super long acrylic nails, but I just don't know how you function. I guess you would just get used to it, obviously, but I don't know. I was away for a bit. Did we talk about the cool new hair yet? Oh, thanks. Yeah, my friend Andy, she kind of helped me get a dip dye thing going. I like it a lot. Etsy banned me out of the blue for the wrongful accusation of abusing location data via a VPN, but I was literally changing locations being a trucker. Oh, watch out for this as a van traveler. Weird. That's weird. Okay, I'm going to look into that. I'm literally going to screenshot that because I don't want that to happen to me. That's so weird. That's shitty. I did wonder about that when I was setting up my Etsy the other day, because it asked what will be like your zip code, like what's your zip code that you'll be shipping from. And I just put San Francisco zip code because I don't know, that's technically my home base, but I am traveling, so I'm not going to be shipping from that zip code every time. So I'm hoping that won't be a problem. Yeah, so hard to do normal life with those super bedazzled ones. Totally. Thank you. I'm glad you guys like the hair. People are so funny. How much did you get your Astro for? I bought it in Oregon at the end of 2020 for, I think, like $2,500 or something. I really only had a budget of $5K, and my goal was to buy the van and build it out for $5K or less. And I successfully did that. I have since put much more money into it. I've altered the build a lot, but yeah, initially about 5K for the van plus the initial build. And I feel like I got really lucky because I got a really great van, and it's mechanically very sound, and it's served me super well. I've only had a few breakdowns, which, considering it's a 35-year-old van, I think that's pretty good. Greetings from Poland. Shout out Poland. Bro said, oh dear. What? People are being crazy. People are being wild in the chat here. Hello from Quartzsite. Shout out Quartzsite. Oh, Traveling Patio, how are you? I hope Quartzsite is treating you well. There's a sick first-gen Astro for sale right now in Chicago. It's an 89 for $2,800. Ooh, that's awesome. See, that's pretty good. That's a good deal, I think. As long as it's in good shape, hell yeah. Chicago. My best friend lives in Chicago, and I've been talking to him about visiting him. I don't know, like, I would obviously love to drive, and I will drive someday, but I'm thinking about flying out to visit him at some point. But he told me it's so freezing cold right now in Chicago, and it's just gonna get worse. So I'm like, maybe I shouldn't go to Chicago right now. It's probably a bad idea. But I've never been to Chicago, and I've always wanted to go. I think it'd be fun to do van life in Chicago for a little bit. I can't wait to get back to the warmth of Quartzsite. Totally. Quartzsite is popping off right now in the van life community. It's kind of funny. It's turned into just this like van life mecca in the winter. Second finale said, do you like or not like cold weather? I am so picky. I'm kind of a baby. I complain when it's too cold. I complain when it's too hot. Like my perfect weather is 60 degrees and sunny, or 65 and sunny. I love that because I can wear my t-shirt with a little light like sweater on, but it's still sunny. That's like my perfect dream weather. Oh, it's beautiful today. I'm so glad. The sun has kind of come out where I am right now, which is really nice because it said it was going to be cloudy all day and I do need to film today. So I'm very glad. Wow, we have hit an hour. I think I'm going to wrap the live. So thank you guys for watching. I am going to figure out the whole notification thing. If I, on my end, can do anything about that, I will. I'm so sorry that no one's getting notified when I go live. Yeah, my fiance of 7 years, I just split last month. Oh, that's sad. I will not visit her in Maryland over the winter. I got pneumonia very easily in the extreme cold. Oh, that's sad. Yeah, that's hard. I am watching you while sorting rocks I bought for Christmas gifts. That's so nice. Aw. I love that. Well, thank you guys for chatting about art and being a traveling artist. I hope this was a fun live to watch. But I am going to head out since it's been an hour. Thank you guys again for watching. And definitely be on the lookout for my video on Friday. But otherwise, I'll see you guys next Wednesday. And also, I always queue up my lives on Mondays. So if you check my channel on Monday, you will see what time I'm going to be going live on Wednesday. So definitely do that. But otherwise, yeah, I'll see you tomorrow, Andy. Can't wait to hang out. Bye-bye.